Hello everybody, welcome back to LEGO Empire, and today we're going to be comparing the new 2022 ATTE to the Dropship with ATOT from 2012. So without further ado, let's get into this. We're going to be using my own kind of comparison system I just came up with like 2 minutes ago. So yeah, first we're going to go over all of the info for these sets, and then we'll get to the scoring. So first, with the ATTE coming out in August 1st, or on August 1st, or a little bit delayed, potentially. I just watched M&R Productions video and he said something about that, but regardless, here we go. Minifigures are going to be Commander Cody, a clone gunner, 3 212th troopers, and 3 battle droids. Also, this does not count as a minifigure, but it is kind of like a character, spider droid. But I'm not going to count that as minifigure. The piece count for the set will be 1,082, and it will retail for $140. Next up, we have the Dropship with ATOT. Has 2 clone pilots and 6 clone troopers, all in the Clone Wars style. The piece count is 1,757, and the retail price was $250. So now to compare this, first we're going to compare the value you get for your dollars. Now, obviously adjusted with inflation, this would be different, but as far as I can tell, I'm going to guess that the ATT has slightly better value if you were not to involve inflation. If you were to involve inflation, I almost guarantee you'd be Dropship with ATOT winning here. So I'm going to give 1 point to each set. So because none of them won, but we still need to give a point to each. So yeah. Next up, we have minifigures. So the minifigures, they honestly, it depends person for person, right? Like the 2022 ATTE comes with a lot of variety. 3 212 troopers, Commander Cody, which people have been wanting for a while, plus a clone gunner is amazing, and the 3 battle droids, nothing special, but they're battle droids. And the Dropship with ATOT comes with a lot of normal clones and 2 pilots. So I really like having tons of normal clones, but then again, the 212th troopers and the clone gunner and all that is really great. So it's hard for me to decide, but I think I'm going to do ATTE for minifigures because it just barely beats it out. But yeah, this could depend person to person if you like, army building, different things. It really depends. But next, we're going to get on to the playability. Now, the ATO2 with Dropship, obviously, probably going to be more fun to play with for kids, right? It's a Dropship, you can disconnect it. It's basically almost an ATTE plus half of a gunship. Like, you can't expect one ATTE to beat that out. So, I'm sorry, but the Dropship with ATOT definitely wins here. Excuse me. And one interesting thing I do want to point out is when given the choice, if you wanted 2 ATTEs or 1 ATOT with Dropship set, 30% of people said they wanted 1 Dropship with ATOT set, and they want that more than 2 ATTE sets. So I found that pretty interesting. I did do a poll on that yesterday, so if you want to go vote in that poll, feel free to. But anyway, let's continue with the comparison. So next, we're going to get into the design. Now, design-wise, you have to realize that the Dropship with ATOT is from 2012, so they have had a whopping 10 years to improve the design of their building, or, their builds in sets. So, I think it's obvious, but the ATTE wins here. It has lots of interior, so does the ATOT, but then again, the ATOT basically doesn't have a roof. Like, it's kind of like an, it's an odd build, right? But the ATTE has lots of room, even though it is a closed-off build when you want it to be. So the ATTE is probably, I'd say it's gonna win here, because you just gotta remember, 2022 they improved so much, right? You can't really expect a 2012 set to beat out a 2022 set like that. Next up, we have the displayability. Now, the displayability for both sets is amazing. I will tell you that. The ATTE, when it's all closed off and you don't see any of the interior, it's gonna look amazing. But then again, the ATOT with Dropship is just huge. It's so good. It's like the grand finale of Clone Wars sets. It's what you want. And I honestly, I think I'd rather display a Dropship with ATOT than an ATTE. not considering the price. So, right now the score is 5-5 with a tie. So let's see if we can break that tie with my final opinion. Now, please note that my final opinion is only worth 1 point, so it can break ties. And I guess I made a good decision in creating that as a thing because we are tied up right now. So when I think about it, would I rather pay $250 for the dropship with ATOT, or would I get the ATTE for $140, and that's not adjusted for inflation? It's a hard choice, but I think I would rather get the dropship with ATOT. This is because this is really personalized, right? But I don't have that many Phase 1 clones, and I love Phase 1 clones, and I love the Clone Wars, and Clone Pilots are really cool too. Plus, the dropship with ATOT is just huge. It'd be a great clone vehicle to add to my collection. Sold an ATTE, I don't have an ATTE yet either, but then again, an ATOT is pretty close to an ATTE, plus I have a dropship, so I feel like I would rather get the dropship with ATOT. So, sadly, the ATTE is not going to be winning this, despite many of you probably wanting it to. The dropship with ATOT has 6 points, and the ATTE has 5 points. The dropship with ATOT wins the comparison. This was a heavily opinionated comparison, so don't feel like you have to argue with me in the comments. You can give me any points you have or arguments you have in the comments on why one is better than the other, because I am interested to hear what you have to say. And yeah, with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you never miss any videos just like this one by the LEGO Empire, and I will see you all in the next video. Have an amazing day. Peace out.